Hey everyone, today I want to talk to you about something that I read very recently and it's incredibly interesting. It's called the Polyvagal Theory. It's a book that's written by Steven Porges, that's Porges, and it is a discussion of essentially Eastern medicine principles, and I think it really delves into a lot which is useful for folks with suffering from TBI or who has a loved one from that's suffering with a TBI. And essentially, the idea is that when you have a situation where an impact or a trauma, whether it's a whiplash type situation or an actual event that strikes the head, it impacts the frontal lobe of the brain. Now, the frontal lobe is made up of several different areas, but particularly the hippocampus and the amygdala, and it also comprises what's called the limbic system. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with the limbic system, it's essentially a lot of things, but the main thing is that it controls your fight or flight responses. And you see that a lot with soldiers and things like that when they're in battle. You know, are they going to stay and fight even though they're scared, or are they going to retreat? And so the idea is that you have these vagal systems in your body, and as a situation affects that limbic system, or as I call it, hijacks the limbic system, it then can manifest itself physically in these different vagal areas of the body. So if you have a loved one that perhaps has a diagnosis of PTSD, that has to do with fight or flight, because the fear or the stress that's associated with things that they used to take for granted, like riding in a car, or afraid they're going to get in a wreck in a car, things like that, it can manifest itself physically. So you have these different vagal areas, and in addition, you may notice a loved one that is having, let's say, a nervous tic, like constant clearing of their throat, even though they're not sick. And so that is an indicator of a situation that's going on in the brain, something that creates stress and therefore hijacks that limbic system and thereby causes a physical manifestation. So the idea here is that you want to observe your loved ones for those different reactions and actions that they begin to show over time, and use that indication and memorialize that in terms of the frequency of it, the nature of the problem, the duration, how long it lasts, and perhaps the severity of it. Many times with pain, we use the 0 to 10 pain scale, which is 0, no pain, 10, very bad, or the worst you've ever felt. And so that way, if you use those four factors in describing to the treating physician of your loved one or yourself what's going on, that may assist in the overall diagnosis and treatment plan of the person with the TBI. So I would definitely recommend picking up this book. You can probably get it on Amazon. And again, it's called the Polyvagal Theory, and it's written by Steven Porges. Again, that's Porges. I sure hope this helps.